Okay, so this is one of our treatment gantries. Our gantries, all three of them are pretty close to the same. This is one of the only facilities in the world that has 3 full rotational gantries. Usually what happens is to save cost, some other facilities will only have 1 room like this and 2 fixed beam rooms where the nozzle just comes out of the wall. It's fixed, there's no rotation, and they use the table to manipulate the patient, but you can only do so many angles. But the reality is that with a fixed beam nozzle, you can treat maybe 40% of your patients. So if you put 40% of your patients in the fixed beam and only treat the people that need to have full rotation in those extra gantries, you can save yourself some cost expenses for the system. However, here we felt that it gives you more flexibility to have 3 full rotational gantries, because if something happens to one of the gantries, you can move patients to the other rooms and still continue with treatment. If you only have 1 rotational gantry, or maybe even 2 rotational gantries at your facility, if something happens to those rotational gantries, those patients can't be treated if that's what they require. You can't treat them on a fixed beam system. So we decided to keep with the full rotational gantries. Now, we're going to go back in the back in a minute. We're going to try to fit everybody in there. But you're going to see that what you see here is a pretty small representation. The gantry goes up another full story above and another full story below. And the reason why is a big device, because geometrically, at the energy levels we were using, we have to be able to bring the beam in at a right angle. So we have to make a couple turns with the beam to be able to get that to happen. And we do all that bending on the gantry itself. And just on the other side of this nozzle is a giant magnet that's 135-degree bend. And at the highest energy levels, the magnet that was going to have the magnetic field, the Tesla available to be able to make that bend in that geometry, was going to be about 150 metric tons. It's a very heavy magnet. So, and we have to have a counterbalance on the other side to balance it. So we have a counterbalance just the same size as that on the opposite side from the magnet. So that was the determining factor for the size of this room. Because at the time, reliable technology, we were limited by the size of that magnet. We knew we had to make a 135-degree bend, and at the time, the biggest magnet that we could get, the smallest magnet we could get that would do the job at those energy levels, that's how big it was going to be. Now, you could go with cryogenics, you could go with cryogenically cooled magnets, but at the time, the technology wasn't good enough for cryogenics to allow us to do that. Cryogenics was unreliable, it wasn't as precise, it would oscillate, it would change, it was very temperamental, so we couldn't get the precision at the time. So we didn't go with cryogenics. Now since then, the new system we're going to build on the other side of this facility and attach is called a compact gantry. Instead of being 3 stories tall, it's 2 stories tall. It doesn't rotate 360 degrees, but it rotates 227 degrees. And because of the robotic table we use, and the fact that we can spin the patients all the way around, we can treat every angle we could treat with this. So we reduce the size, we use a cryogenic magnet just for that one magnet, and only part of it's cryogenic, and it does multiple things. It bends the magnet, it bends the beam, but it also is what we use to steer the beam for pencil beam. So we contain it all in one magnet. So we're able to reduce the size down. So the days of these large 360-degree gantries may be going away.